3 trials to open the door.
Okay. So we need to transfer a blessing to one of them or complete the trials.
Yes, by completing a trial, you will receive a blessing, and the blessing can then be transferred.
Oh, okay.
So we've already transferred one of the blessings that we've received to that gem.
We haven't done it yet, but we could. One of us could do that.
Mhm.
So, or we could just go do the 3 feats and get all 3 blessings that way. I would assume.
I think we're gonna have to do all 3 trials to receive all 3 blessings, but we already have one blessing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, the blessing you got from Dasa counts as completing one of the trials, so you have to finish 2 more within the tomb. Yeah. And Sarah kind of motions to the other 2 doors in the room, the one to the northeast and the one down to the south. He says you can find a trial through each one of those doors. Though I warn you, Zalonin, one of the guardians I mentioned earlier, is through that northeastern door, so proceed through that one with extra caution, as things may not be as they're meant to be.
Okay. So, do you guys want to just go ahead and head towards the one of the doors then? What do you think, Cap?
Oh.
I
Come
think
this
we need
far.
to get me off the ceiling as well.
Oh, you're still on the ceiling. Yeah.
I'm
Shit.
still hanging out on the
Still up
ceiling.
there.
We've gotten so
Some
used to
of
you
us
being
are
up
very
there.
wounded, right?
What's
And-
that?
Some of us are very wounded.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah,
You're
yeah. Can we
right.
rest a little bit?
We're all gonna take a very long nap.
Okay.
Right
so,
here.
I
Yeah.
guess I'll take the first watch then.
Can we ask the guardian to take the watch? I mean, he's been asleep for a while.
That's fair.
He's got 8 hours in him.
Yeah, if you ask him, he'll say, yes, of course, pilgrims, that's the least I can do. I will watch over you while you sleep, if that is what you require.
Please.
Yes, that would be nice.
Yeah, a good nap would be nice.
Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention last time, Ulamir, when you had your detect magic on, you also would have gotten 2 pings off of one of the bodies of the cultists. One coming from their boots, and another coming from the hand crossbow that they have.
Well, can I identify these boots?
Yeah.
You can do 10 minutes of boots.
Yeah, so you identify the boots. You find that there are boots of elven kind, which grant advantage on any stealth checks that rely on sound.
I'll identify the crossbow while he does the boots.
Okay.
He points out that the crossbow's magical.
Yeah. So the hand crossbow is just a +1 hand crossbow. There's no additional enchantment on it. It's just very well crafted.
Do we want to play rock, paper, scissors for who gets the crossbow?
I was gonna give you the boots because you're our sneaky boy, right?
Oh, okay. Probably a good idea. Yeah, never
I'm-
mind.
I
I'll
don't-
take the boots.
Need the crossbow, so
So JP and I both use a crossbow. If you want the crossbow, JP, go for it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right. So, what did the boots
Cool.
got me again? Sorry.
So
The
if
boots.
you go to your manage equipment on D&D Beyond and search for boots of elven kind,
Boots of
and add them
elven.
to your
Ooh,
sheet.
they're elven boots.
Mm-hmm.
I like elven boots.
Pretty fancy.
Then what? Is this just a regular crossbow or?
It's a hand crossbow.
Add. Hell yeah. And go put these boots on. Fuck yeah.
All right.
So now what did these
Is
boots
this-
give me? Let's-
Is this just a regular hand crossbow?
Plus one.
plus
Hell
one.
yeah.
Oh, plus one.
Yeah.
Okay. I was
Yep.
gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah. Ah.
Okay. So you guys are taking a long rest, is that right, or a short rest?
Long rest.
Long rest.
Long rest.
Long
okay.
rest?
I'm
We're
not
taking a long rest?
I'm
We'll
not
be
a
sleeping.
Oh boy.
All right, so I'll catch you guys next week.
Alright.
Yep, we
It's
just
a
have
good
to
thing we
sit
have the
still
ability
for-
to fast forward.
Yeah.
This is weird. with power.
So, about 40 minutes into this long rest, Kanatash, you will slowly float back down from the ceiling. And Metatron, you will come to realize that you were charmed earlier on. Yeah.
Now he's annoyed. Wants a refund.
But aside from that, with Sirach standing watch, you guys are able to complete your long rest without issue. And I will go ahead and share the share the map here.
How's my audio now?
It's pretty good.
Kind of quiet.
It's quiet, but you
Quiet?
can hear it.
Okay.
Well, you've always been quiet.
So,
Hell yeah, that looks good. He got a new system, guys.
I do. So yeah. So Sirach had pointed out that this door and this door would lead to additional trials. This is the door where you can, with the gems on it.
Alrighty.
Does somebody want to bless up one of those gems real quick, and we'll head on to a trial?
I'll do it.
Yep.
Okay. So Metatron, you walk up to the door and place your hand on one of the gems, and as you do, this blue light transfers from your hand into the gem, and you watch as an image of a young girl playing a harp engraves itself in the stone directly above the gem. So.
Interesting.
Okay. So, do we want to go north or south?
South.
South. Okay. All right. So, let me move, guys. So you go up to the door, and you find that it is unlocked.
Does he want to come with us, or does he want to stay there?
ask
If you ask him, he'll say, "No, I cannot partake in the trials or assist you in any way. It is my duty simply to guard the entrance to the blood pool."
He
Blood
just likes to
pool.
watch.
Yeah. He's that kind of guy. God, my camera froze.
Okay. So, make sure I've got it over here. Okay. So, you guys walk into this room and you see. I shouldn't have revealed that yet. Anyways, you see laid out before you. There's sort of a model village type of a thing. They're like palm trees and various adobe huts and like a well and all kinds of just like a little village laid out before you. As you take it all in, though, the room starts to rumble, and you see the ground start to crack and lava emerge up from in between those cracks and totally consume the village. You guys are standing up here on the northern half of the room, where the lava does not seem to have spread to. And you can see that the only two surviving structures are a large, sort of like a large statue down in this corner here. It's in the shape of a dragon, but it's sort of positioned like the Sphinx. You know, that kind of it's got that kind of a look to it.
Cool.
And there's also a large granite throne that seems to be trapped on its own little island on the eastern side of the room.
Okay. Interesting. Well, Cap, what are you thinking?
Well, we know there's supposed to be a trial guardian now. Let's look for him.
My guess is he's probably over by the throne, right? Or is it? Do you think it's the Sphinx itself?
I don't know. Maybe look for magical stuff. It's usually how this works, right?
Fair enough. You guys want to try to identify or detect magic in this room?
Before I do anything, I want to just kind of yell out, "Hello," just to see if anyone's out there.
Your voice echoes throughout the chamber, but there is no response.
It was worth a shot. All right.
I'll spend 10 minutes detecting magic in the room.
Okay.
I love how long it takes.
So, you cast your detect magic, and from where you're standing right now, you don't. Oh, actually, you do sense a magical aura coming off of the lava. But aside from that, you don't pick up anything. And if you move right up to the edge of the lava to get it a little farther out, you still don't pick up anything aside from the lava.
So, is there heat coming off of this lava?
There is, yes.
So it's real lava, or at least, even if it's magical lava, it's still hot.
I mean, in theory, I could just,
Floating disc yourself somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what would happen if we. I mean, that's a throne over there, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Is it-
This is the throne over here. Hmm.
I mean, what would happen if we sat there?
It's probably what we need to do.
Well, I'm gonna float and disc myself over to the throne.
Okay.
And probably make a huge mistake by sitting on it.
You
Strong. Ooh, I like strong things.
are able to hop on
Hell yeah.
top of the floating disc and reach the island with the throne on it. Now that you're
It is
closer
strong.
to it, you can see that the throne has intricate like hieroglyphs carved along the arms and the back back of the seat. But you do not detect anything magical about it.
Well, this could be a mistake, but I'm gonna hop on in.
Okay. You hop into the throne, and it's not terribly comfortable because it's just a stone no cushion. But so long as you don't sit here for an extended period of time, you shouldn't come to any harm. Yeah.
I'm gonna relay that to the team like nothing happened.
Well, how do we get there now?
Je ne sais pas.
I mean, we probably need to get over to the statue thing as well, if the throne's not giving us anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But the question is, how do we get over there? Because that thing is completely surrounded by lava.
What are these circular things on the map? Are those like pillars?
Oh,
or-
these are these are pillars. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are they all the way to the ceiling, or do they stop before the ceiling?
They are floor to ceiling. Yep.
Okay.
How long are those pillars?
The pillars, let's see, the room is about 20 feet high. So the pillars, no, sorry, it's the ceiling's about 25 feet high, so the pillars are about that same length.
I mean, it'd be useful if I was still floating to get over all this.
Oh, now you want to be floating.
I'm just saying it would be useful. I don't want to do it again, but so how tall is that statue?
So the statue, it rises about 17 feet high or so. And there's about 8 feet of clearance between the top of it and the ceiling.
Is there any way I could use like my ray of frost to kind of freeze like a bridge?
Oh yeah, spell too. I have the same thing.
You can. Are you gonna try to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. You
Why not?
fire
It's
your
a
ray of
cantrip.
frost. Yeah, you fire your ray of frost, and it connects with the lava, but the lava does not seem to
Give a
react to it at all.
fuck.
Like no steam comes off. It doesn't like ripple out at all.
Okay.
Did anybody investigate?
I'd like to investigate the pillars and see if they're connected to the ceiling/floor.
So yeah, if you move up to this one here, so yeah, you can see that they are like this pillar is securely like attached to the floor. And if you look up, you can see it's a little hard to tell because you're not up there, but it seems to be flush with the ceiling from where you're standing.
Gotcha. And if I push on it, it's not like supporting the ceiling, right?
Well, I don't think you're going to be able to push on it hard enough to really test that out.
But it's probably load bearing.
Well, none of the other rooms have had pillars, is my idea.
That's fair.
That is a fair point.
I could try to have Captain the Falcon go check out the statue to see if there's anything interesting over there.
Yeah.
That's a good
Worth a
idea.
shot.
Okay. So Captain the Falcon flies over. As he gets closer, he'll notice that that at the base of this dragon statue, in between its two outstretched front legs, there are two doors, each with hieroglyphs carved into them, similar to what you'd see on the throne. And he'll do a circuit around the statue itself, but nothing else particularly stands out. You don't see any other like entrances or other features on the back of the statue that are particularly noteworthy.
So, if you relayed all that information to us, what I'm thinking is try to Is there any way you can read that? Can I use comprehend languages to try to read those things? Have them read or translated
You would have to be.
up on it?
Yeah, you would have to be close enough to actually read the hieroglyphs.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Can he use his floating disc to float me over there next to him? If I come up over there
Probably.
to the corner and have him float me across?
Yeah, I think so. That's. I don't have the spell up in front of me, Eric, but I think that would. I think that's within the.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can
Yeah.
float other people because he's done it before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I can float other
Um,
people, but it can't be more than 20 feet away from me, or else it kind of dissolves.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. How far away is it with the? If I get right up there next to him.
Yeah. If Ulamir hops off the throne, and you come down here, I mean, you're well within 20 feet there, so you can ferry him across.
Okay. Float
I'm
me
not
over.
saying that this is an option, but I could also attempt to see invisibility to see if there's any like hidden objects in the room that we just can't see. It will use a slot, but I'm just throwing it out there for a possible option.
Well, here, float me across, and let me see if I can comprehend this. And then, if that doesn't work, then waste a spell slot. But if we
Float.
don't have to burn a spell slot for that, so
Float on over there, my dude.
all right,
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and do
Abraham.
comprehend language.
Yeah.
So I'm going to attempt to read the glyphs.
Okay. You go ahead you go ahead and cast comprehend languages, and you carefully examine the throne, looking over all the glyphs. And while you're doing that, I want you to go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
Okay. 17.
Okay. You're reading over the hieroglyphs. It seems that some of them were, like parts of it were damaged at some point. So you're getting like incomplete snippets. They say things like, two brothers vie for the throne. Lies and truth. And another thing is destruction falls when a decision cannot be made. Or the little snippets you get from the hieroglyphs. And as you're looking through those, you notice around the back of the throne there's what appears to be a little keyhole hidden in one of the hieroglyphs.
Ooh, I found a spot. It looks like there's a key. We need to see if we can find a key. Maybe, Ulamir, send your Captain the Falcon over there to see if he can spot a key on the other side of the Sphinx thingy.
Well, I know there were two doors on the Sphinx thingy, so
Okay,
there could be a key on one of those doors. Who knows?
maybe. But how do we get it over
But
there?
I don't think Captain My Falcon can open a
Door?
or Captain the Falcon can open a door.
Probably not, but let's see. Cap, what do you think? Anybody else got any ideas?
I would like to push the pillar I am in the direction of that Sphinx.
He's gonna try
Okay.
to Samson and Delilah it.
Pillar down.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Better be the best athletics checks you've ever done. Probably not, if it's taken that long to do
A 7.
that.
All right. So you push on the pillar a little bit. You realize it's not quite gonna budge. So you just with like standing here pushing it. So you back up a couple steps and just kind of charge into it, elbow first, to try and knock it loose, and you just end up dislocating your shoulder.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Someone's got to medic check that. Put that bitch back in.
Yeah. Can I go ahead
would-
and just pop it back in for him? I have
Yeah.
medicine. Like,
Yeah, go ahead and make a medicine check.
okay. Does it matter that I'm proficient?
I mean, that'll
I'll-
make your roll higher, or that'll make your result higher, so
It's
that
a
helps.
9.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a dislocated shoulder. It's fine. It takes you a little longer than you're proud of to pop it in right, but you get it.
Try it again, Captain.
Can I try it again?
Oh my god.
Bad idea. Let him.
Ooh.
I would-
Yeah, you can give it one more shot.
All right. $60.
Much better. You may not have dislocated your shoulder. That
Yeah, so you brace yourself and you push it again. You don't hurt yourself this time, but this pillar seems solid, like it's not going anywhere.
All right.
All right, I guess I'm
That-
gonna
that's what we got,
float
guys.
myself over to this Sphinx then.
What's
Okay.
the for each square? Is that how many
5
is that?
feet.
That's 5. Okay.
Yes.
Because I have a mage hand, but it has a range of
30.
30 feet.
Yeah, the same thing.
I'm just like trying to wrap my brain around.
Okay, so Ulamir, you're floating yourself over.
Sure.
Okay. As you get to about here, you see two humanoid figures materialize out of thin air. They're both humans with tan skin, bald heads. They're wearing white robes with gold embroidery. They look almost identical, except for the masks covering their faces. Each mask represents or it seems to depict half of a dragon's face. And the guy standing on the right has the right half of his face covered, and the guy standing on the left has the left half of his face covered.
I'm gonna say
And-
that you guys must be the brothers.
And they say, in unison, they say, "Why, yes, we are, Pilgrim. It seems you have found an unconventional way to reach the second half of this trial. But since you're here, since you've now reached us, we have our final challenge to put before you. This challenge will distinguish whether or not you can tell the difference between a truth and a lie." And as they say this, they motion back to the doors set at the base of the Sphinx, and they say, "One of these doors leads to the blessing you seek, and the other leads to certain doom.
Jeez.
We know which is which, and you may ask us but one question.
Oh,
But be
crap.
warned, one of us will answer your question truthfully, and the other will lie."
Ah, shit. This goddamn trope.
Yep.
Okay.
And Ulamir's the only one close enough to actually hear what they're saying. The rest of you could see these guys materialize, but you haven't heard what they've said.
Let me
I'm gonna do one of these. What are they saying?
Lumir, little help. We have no idea what he's talking about.
I try and climb the pillar.
Okay. Make an athletics check.
You're gonna fall in the lava.
18.
Oh,
18. Okay. So you kind of like straddle yourself around the pillar and manage to inch yourself up it. I mean, you can make it all the way to the top. If that's how far you want to go.
Can I like tie myself off where I can just hold on with a rope or something? Get a hand free?
That's gonna be tricky to do without like holding yourself with your legs on the pillar. So I assume you'd need 2 hands to like tie the knots on the rope around the pillar. You see what I'm saying?
It's a big ass.
If you want to
Yeah.
try it, you can make another athletics check to see if you can if your
Okay.
legs are strong enough to hold you.
Bright bush pickers. Metatron makes athletics checks.
Trying to do the Milan thing where she climbs the pillar and then
Let's get down to business. To the feet.
10.
The brothers.
So you're trying to tie that rope off, and this is kind of a stressful maneuver. You feel the sweat starting to drip off your brow from the heat of the lava below, and your hands slip on the rope. And as you lean back to catch it, your legs lose their grip on the pillar. And
can I use my legs to purposely kick off the pillar and go backwards, not into the lava?
I'm gonna say no. So you fall the 20 feet and land on the floor, taking 4 points of damage as you hit. But it's not hot, and it just feels like a stone floor beneath you. When you look around, you still see lava, but
Oh god damn
you're
it.
perfectly fine.
oh, hey, look, he's fine.
None of us wanted to actually step into the lava.
I mean,
So-
with reason.
So he accidentally stumbles into okay. Okay.
I'm invulnerable to lava.
Cap,
That's the only logical conclusion. Go
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
so I follow after I hop off away from the throne and just start walking across now that I realize that it seems to be not hot now.
Yeah, I'm going over by Ulrich.
Adron, as your boot touches the lava, you ignite, and no. I'm just
Oh.
kidding.
Ah,
Oh, man.
that would be my luck. We all know
Yeah.
that.
I assume you're walking all the way over to where Ulamir is.
Yeah.
I want to ask one of the dudes if the liar's in front of the death door.
Which one are you asking? The
guy on the
one
right.
with the left half of his face covered or the right half of his face?
The right half.
Okay. He will respond. He will respond, yes.
Oh fuck. That doesn't help.
And is anybody not going up to the door at this point?
I'll
No.
go. I'll
go.
go up to him then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might as well go.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go to the door behind the other dude, the dude I didn't ask a question to.
Okay. Well, okay. So you asked the question to the guy with the left half of his face covered, right?
I don't remember.
I think that's what you, yeah. So you go up to that door.
What was that?
Okay. So you go up to that door, you open it up, and you just see blackness beyond. And there's like a pinprick of light in the back that's getting closer and closer and closer. And then all of a sudden, a fireball just erupts out of the front of the Sphinx.
Oh God.
And you know what? Kanatash, Dolomite, and Cirilla, you guys are probably still walking up to the door at this point, so you guys are okay for the moment.
God damn it. Eric.
But Adron, Lumir, and Metatron, I'm going to need you to make dexterity saving throws.
Ooh, dexterity saving throws. Don't I have something to help me with that? Yes. My boots. I just got.
That's just for stealth checks,
Okay.
not dexterity saving throws.
What is
Are
my...
those boots made for walking?
Yes. That is what they're for.
They're made for stealthing.
Yeah, okay, okay. I got an 18.
Okay.
19.
I firmly believe that I'm invincible to fire, and don't try and make a saving throw.
Oh my god.
Bold choice. So,
Way to commit to the
Adron
character.
and
That's
Ulamir,
live in the character.
We're gonna have that carved on the tombstone. I think we need to see
Adron and
Metatron.
Ulamir, you each only take 11 points of fire damage.
Ow.
And Metatron, you take 23, finding out that you are, in fact, not resistant to fire. After
Alright,
the
go for
smoke
the door.
clears, you see the two twins sort of shake their heads and say, "Well, pilgrims, perhaps you can complete the other trials successfully." And the room just goes completely dark. And when you guys can all see again, you find that you're back out in the chamber with Sirach and all the statues.
Well, fuck.
And if you look back, you'll see that the door, you'll see that southern door has disappeared.
Oof.
Oops.
Big oof.
Yup.
Well, does that mean this is over?
No, because there's
That
still
means that
two
one
that we
trial
can
is
do.
over.
Oh, yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, there are still 3 other trials in the tomb.
Aha, okay, next. Which one are we going to next? We gotta do better this time.
The one without the corruption, probably.
Yeah. Was north or east or west? Because we did south.
So
North was the corrupted one.
Okay.
yeah, so that is the corrupted one. And let's see. Let me zoom it out a little bit here. So let's see. You ask Sirach, he'll mention that aside from the trial that's been corrupted, there are the other 2 trials can be found in Kalka's chamber, which was the room with the large boulder, and the third one can be found through the door in that room, through the door on the southern side of that room.
Okay.
So
Yes, we're going back to the room with the boulder.
Ooh,
Yep.
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 okay.
Jesus Christ.
So you go back. And no. Yeah, so you go back into this room, you backtrack, and you see that the room is still covered in a layer of undisturbed mud, and there's a large boulder sitting in the center of the room.
This is where all those like weird little crab things were, right?
Yes.
Can we?
I guess we gotta move our way into it then, don't we?
Yeah, then we gotta go through one of the doors. We just gotta pick which one.
Okay. What are you thinking, Cap? Or Ulumir, do you have any? You have any wizard notions?
South.
Yeah.
All right.
And just to be clear, Sirach did mention that one of the trials was in this chamber, the one that you're standing in right now.
Okay. We are in the one with the boulder in it now, right?
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Okay.
Go look at that boulder.
Yeah, did any of us do investigation on that before?
No.
No, I do
don't
not
think
believe
so.
you did.
No, we just walked past it.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
check.
I'll
I'll
go
do
look
it.
at the boulder.
I'll also take a look at the boulder.
Okay.
I got a 15 for investigation.
But it's just a nice
Alright.
boulder.
Yes.
15.
I'm
Okay.
admiring the boulder. I don't necessarily.
So you guys go up to the boulder. You take a closer look at it, and you see. Now that you're up taking a closer look at it, you can see that there are bits of like sort of like algae or moss kind of growing in some of the crevices. And as you go to actually touch the boulder during your investigation, you notice that it starts to shake a little bit. And it rotates slightly and lifts up a little bit. And two eye stalks emerge from underneath.
Oh shit!
And you hear some sort of garbled sound emit from whatever creature this is, as if it's trying to speak. Actually, Adron, how long does your comprehend languages last?
Let me go back and look at that really quick. It lasts 1 hour.
1 hour. Okay, so yeah, that would still be
Working?
that would still be up.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So, do I understand what he's saying then?
You do. Just give me a second to. Okay, that's all of you. All right. You hear him. You hear this creature say, "Oh, hello. Who are you?"
We are pilgrims on a trial. Can you help us with that?
Oh, pilgrims on a trial.
Mm-hmm.
Those words sound familiar. Like I should know what they mean. Wait. Who am I? Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure. You kind of just woke up.
Can we just? I mean, the rock told us his name, right?
Yeah, his name is you presume this is Kalka?
Yes.
Yeah.
The hermit crab. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you tell him that? Yeah, okay. Says, that could be right. But but you are strangers. Let me confirm with my friends here. And you see some of the little lobsters emerge up from the mud, and they just kind of shake his fist, and the lobsters sort of shake his claw angrily at the giant hermit crab before diving back into the mud. And he says, you all say my name is Kalka, but that one called me lazy bastard. I don't know which is true.
We should go with what we call you. I think it sounds better.
No, I want to call him lazy bastard. I think that's your real name.
That's not a good idea, Dolomite. Trying to get on his good side.
He doesn't remember anything. He doesn't really have a good side right now.
But we want to stay on it when he does.
Yeah, well, we got his memory back. That's pretty big points. Anyway, lazy bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yes?
This is bad. It's
Dolomite's
always-
like crying at this point.
It's always bad. I look over at Cirilla and I'm like, I'm really sorry.
You should have a trial for this. You probably don't remember what it is. We're supposed to do the trial, and then you give us your blessing.
Or he could just give us his blessing. That would be cool.
My blessing. I may have something like that. And the eye stalks retreat back under the shell for a moment. And then they reemerge with a small stone. The stone does not appear remarkable in any way. And he says, does this look right to you? Is this the blessing?
I'm sure.
I'll go to it.
What'd you say?
I'll go up to it and pick up the stone.
You pick up the stone and you do not feel any different. You remember when you got the blessing from Dasa, there was like a warmth that went through you, but you don't get a similar feeling when you touch the stone.
Is there anything on the stone? I mean, is it just like a
No, it's just a
stone?
plain rock, man.
I'll give it back to him.
This is not your blessing.
Ah, okay. Let me try again. And the eye
Okay.
stalks retreat back under the shell.
Try again, please.
And they emerge with a different stone. It's kind of irregularly shaped in a different way to the last one, but again, it looks like a normal stone.
This one is different.
It does not feel different when you touch it, though. It's still just a regular stone as far as you can tell.
So, he's cut. How
Right.
far can we see, like, under the boulder when he's there? Like, can we see inside the little?
It's like tilted up just enough for the
Okay.
eye stalks to poke out. I mean, if you like got down on your hands and knees in the mud and like looked, maybe you could see a little something more, but yeah.
Adrod, did you ask one of the hermit crabs that are in the mud what he's supposed to do?
Yeah, so I speak to the hermit crabs and just like, hey, how do we get this blessing and we'll get out of your hair?
One of the ones comes up and he says, it's like, what? You think you can just talk to me? I'm cleaning the room. I'm busy right now.
Hey.
Oh.
Man, we're just trying to get on through here, man. If you help us out, we'll get out of your way. There'll be no problems. You remember what happened last time?
Gosh,
Just not have any problems.
you people, first this layabout gets cursed by the vampire, and then you guys come in here. Ugh.
Vampire.
Well, look, I basically just told you the whole thing. There's this vampire imprisoned in the hallway up to the north. Apparently, the seals keeping him in check have degraded over the years, and his influence has extended out to old Kalka here and messed with his memory.
Oh,
So
God
Kalka
damn it.
doesn't know what's going on.
Okay. So, I'm guessing we need to help you get his memory back so that we can get our blessing. Right?
I don't care what you do. Just don't walk around on my floor.
Would you like it if we got his memory back? Would it be
Yeah.
helpful to you?
Yeah, if that means you leave and never come back and stop messing up the floor, then yeah, it's real helpful to me.
Just little
Oof.
crab custodians.
All right. Well, I turn back to these guys. These guys are assholes, but he's lost his memory because of some goofy vampire up to the north. So, unfortunately, Cap, I think we got to go north. That's the way we're going to get the blessing from this guy. To get his full
Do
memory
you
back.
guys know how to kill a vampire?
I mean, only from legends, you know, with wood and garlic. Anybody got any garlic?
I don't know
No.
how to kill.
The amount of time it took for you guys to respond to that was great. I'm not sure, but I'm sure we can.
We'll
come up
figure
with
it out.
something.
Yeah.
Umi, are you down?
Okay.
I asked the crab real quick before this starts to run out. What's to the south?
Says, and the eyes sort of pivot towards the door. He says, I imagine that beyond that door lies a room.
All right, smartass. I'm just trying to
This
get some
fucking
answers.
crab.
I'm sorry I cannot be more helpful, but I genuinely do not remember.
Okay.
I'm gonna casually
Who are
say
you
to
again?
someone else.
Okay.
If you were to, I don't know, offhandedly try and kill a vampire, how would you do it?
I suppose I would use his weaknesses against him.
Okay.
Can we eat hermit crab?
No. Can't do that. That's not how you get the blessing.
So-
Don't do that.
I think seafood is the surest way to a good blessing. So I'm with Captain.
Let's not. All right. We'll take a vote. Do we want to go north or do we want to take the mystery room to the south?
I mean,
Well, I mean,
might as
we
well-
gotta get that memory back.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cap. Yep.
Okay. I think we'll fight the vampire.
Hey.
How hard can it be?
Do you remember vape? It'll probably be worse.
Hey, I killed that thing. It's not too bad.
Yeah, but you were a tank back
We proudly walk triumphantly north to fight the vampire.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
This is definitely a good idea and not bad whatsoever.
Okay. So you find the doorway to your north, to the north, unlocked, and it opens up into a hallway. So let's see. A few feet down the hallway, around here, you see that there's sort of a large lime-colored stone. It's sort of been set into the wall and has some like stucco around it, holding it in place. It seems to be blocking off some kind of passage. And if you go up and look around the bend, you can see that there's a stairway that's been collapsed and just covered in rubble.
Oh, great.
I'm gonna drink my potion of greater healing for 13 points to heal myself.
All right.
Do I have one of those? Let me see.
If you guys need some health, I can toss you some too.
Oh yeah, that would be cool because I got hit for 11 points.
Yeah.
How damaged are you?
11 points.
11 points. That's like almost. That's more than a third of my hit points.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm still not very great. I'm like probably the weakest one of all of us here.
I mean, sure, if we're healing for that, yeah, you can heal me.
I mean, yeah. I only got 20 total, so I'll just give you each 10, just to.
I may not die now.
Okay, cool.
Unless it's in fire, because apparently you're immune to fire.
No, we found out I'm not immune to fire. It's fine.
So at least you learned your lesson, so that's good.
Quick learner. Not sure how magic works.
Fair.
Okay, so now we're gonna go up to the steps, right? We're just gonna move on up to the steps. Now we're gonna figure out what the hell is going on with all this rubble up here.
Looks
Hey.
pretty clogged to me.
What was off to that right? You said a
So
passage?
it's like a yeah, there's sort of a kind of like a limestone, like a big hunk of like limestone that's been set into the wall, that stands out from like the rest of the granite walling. And there's like some stucco that's been put in place to like hold the stone there, as if it's blocking off a passage.
Can I break this stone? I don't know with that.
Are you gonna try to break it?
I mean, maybe the person with the giant hammer can take the hammer to the wall, might break through it.
Yeah, take a swing at it, boss.
Okay.
Okay. So obviously, this is. We could try to dig it out. I mean, how
Yeah,
big does
can I-
it? How much rubble
Yeah.
does it look like? Like in theory, could we do that?
I mean, it looks like a lot. Like the whole ceiling just came in. Like if you try to climb up it, you like can't see over the other side of the rubble or anything like that.
Okay, like it goes all the way up to the top, to the ceiling. You can't get over the top of it. There's
yeah.
no gap.
There is no gap.
Okay.
So, can I take a look at that limestone and see if I can try to figure out how to break it or get past it, or if there's any way to do that?
Yeah. So, you see like the stucco around the edges of it. Like you guess that probably chipping that away might make it easier to move the stone.
Okay. Got my war pick. Guess it's time to chip away.
Okay. See, go ahead. Oh, you're using the war pick. Yeah. So about I don't know. Say like 10 minutes or so go by as you go around the edge of this thing, chipping away at it. And after those 10 minutes, you think you've damaged the seal pretty significantly, and you see that the stone appears to be like a little looser.
I can try and thunder wave it.
What's the
Can I,
radius
like-
of that? Because that ceiling over there has collapsed. So
It's a
Can I pry it
15
out?
foot cube.
or whatever.
okay.
Push it.
Are you gonna try to push it?
Yep.
Okay. As you as your hands touch the stone, presumably you're like wearing gauntlets or whatever. As they touch the stone, you hear like a sort of a sizzling sound, and some smoke starts to rise up off of your gauntlets. Do you continue pushing?
I quit pushing the stone.
Okay. You've quit pushing the stone, but your gauntlets are still smoking and kind of hissing and bubbling as they seem to be like being eaten away by some kind of acid.
Uh-oh.
Oh, good.
Shall I try and thunderwave this?
I take my
Yeah.
gauntlet off.
Should we all get out of the hallway first before she thunder waves it? Before it all collapses
Yes.
on top of us?
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that's a smart plan.
Definitely do that.
Okay. So you guys will retreat back out into the room below. Cirilla, you will stand back and cast your thunder wave directed at the boulder.
Yes.
And as you do so, you hear some more cracking as some of the last of the stucco breaks away, and the boulder starts to teeter a bit, and then it falls backwards into a smaller chamber.
Hey.
All right. I notify them it's all clear.
Yeah, walking carefully back.
Yeah.
Hey.
I use my new boots to make no noise as I sneak through.
Okay. They don't hear you coming, Atron, but they see you coming.
That's all that matters. No squeaking.
Who's that guy in those boots?
Stun
Yeah,
on.
so the stone is laying there in the entryway, and you see a set of double bronze doors lying on the opposite side of this chamber, and there are some ornate urns up in the little alcoves of this room.
All right. Let's see here. So, do we want to check this out, guys? Obviously, we just made a hole in the wall. We better investigate.
Yeah.
You
We
guys
did
feel free.
check out
I'm
the
gonna
urns.
kick it in this hallway for a bit.
All right.
So how big are those urns? Are they like small or big?
They're so they come up. I mean, they come up a little bit above your knees, so
Okay.
they're big. I mean, they're pretty good sized for urns.
Okay. Do they have lids on them?
They do, yes.
All right. Can I do an investigation check to check the around him, see if there's any booby traps? Check for traps.
Sure, go ahead and roll it.
All right. Investigation. So, 14.
So checking those bronze double doors, you don't find any signs of a trap, though the doors do appear to be locked.
All right. So
Um,
let's pick these fucking locks. For a 19.
Okay. So you go to work with your thieves' tools. And after about 30 seconds or so of messing around with it, you hear a click, and the lock appears to be open.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and push the doors open.
Okay. You push open the door.
Oof.
Interesting.
Yeah, you push open the door there, and you see in this room there is a ring of similar urns surrounding a large coffin made of black stone. There are chains draped over the coffin. And the only other thing of note, the only other thing of note you see is that on the far back wall here, there seems to be some kind of battle axe embedded into the stone.
Ooh, Metatron. That looks like it's got your name on it. Metatron, I see a battle axe. I holler back to him.
Oh, good. A battle axe. And I'll come into the room.
Okay. So are you going all the way up to where the axe is, or just stepping into the room?
I'll take a look into the room and first.
Okay.
Probably should look at the coffin before you look at the axe.
Smart decision.
All right. So you go up to the coffin, and you see there are these thick black iron chains fastened around it, and across the top of the coffin there's like an engraving of what appears to be a man with his hands crossed over his chest. And there are some hieroglyphs inscribed above the head of that engraving.
There's more hieroglyphs in here.
Is my
What kind of-
comprehend language still going, or has it been more than?
Yeah, we're probably getting close to the end of it, but it's
Alright.
still.
I'm gonna go
it's
ahead and
still up
try to read
point.
the hieroglyphs on this coffin as for the tail end of it here, so that I can be useful again.
So yeah, the only hieroglyphs you can find on the coffin are the ones above the engraved figure's head, and they simply read, "Here lies Talak the corrupted. May he never rise again."
Well,
Nothing fun.
here we go. So this is apparently the thing that's corrupted all of these blessers, I guess, or these trials. I think we need to try to figure out where this guy is and how to keep him in this box.
I'm gonna look inside the urn that's right next to me.
Okay. You open it up. Let's see. You open it up, and in this one, you just see what appears to be a large amount of ashes lying in the urn.
Okay.
If you go to sift through them, do you go to sift through them?
Sure. Yeah.
You dig around in the remains of a long dead person, and you find nothing of interest. In this.
Can I make some sort of check to see like what I know about vampires?
Can I also make a check about vampires, but specifically how to kill a vampire?
Yeah, I'll let I'll say that you probably would not know Metatron, but Cirilla, I'll let you make. Actually, no, Metatron, are you proficient in religion by any chance?
Cool.
No. Cirilla- I don't know. I don't know what skills he took, man.
No, I looked. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Cirilla, I'll let you make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Them heavy dice.
19.
Coming in handy.
So you know that vampire. You recall that vampires are highly sensitive to sunlight, and can take damage when they're exposed to it. You know that they can be paralyzed if they take a stake to the heart. And running water also harms them.
Okay, I will relay that to the rest of the group.
So Metatron
I'm gonna
now-
take one of my torches and just kind of carve it up into a stake.
Take one of your what?
Torches.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, that makes. I thought you said potions. I was like, that doesn't really work.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah, can I do the same?
Yes, you can.
Sick.
Also, would having a couple of like arrows together count as a stake?
I mean, I can
Maybe.
take one of my javelins and just kind of fiddle it.
Well,
Down
I was
to
gonna
a
say if I could
That's
like
a very
attach,
long stake.
if I could attach.
What?
That's a very long stake.
I mean, do you still have that one that I stuck in your back? I mean, we can just. Break it.
I do. I just pull it out.
Anyway, but if I can use like 3 or 4 arrows tied together to count as one stake, I can fire one into somebody's heart. You know what I'm saying? And it's wood, so I think it should count.
Yeah, is
Alright.
there like stipulations with this stake? Like, does it have to be a certain material, or is it just wood? Sharp enough to penetrate.
I mean,
Oh,
wood is a certain material.
There's definitely different
So-
kinds of wood, though.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
Just to clarify, because I sort of skimmed the stat block there. The stake only destroys the vampire if it is incapacitated in its resting place. So you would have to subdue the vampire through other means first and then stake it. But yeah, so long as it's wood.
Okay.
Is the chain surrounding the coffin rusty?
Not at all. No, it appears to be in good condition.
That means it's been used. Or it's magic. Can we
Awesome.
get a magic check in this room, please?
Yup, I'll do it.
Go for it.
Magic check.
It appears that thunder has started.
All right. Assuming you're casting it as ritual, so you do that. You do a circuit of the room. You pick up a faint trail of necromantic energy, kind of trailing out from the coffin and going like back out the way you came, sort of like trailing out and down. You also sense that there's a sort of disrupted like shielding magic enchantment that was placed on the coffin, but has been degraded somehow, and you get actually a very strong magical ping off of the axe embedded in the back wall.
Do vampires count as monsters?
They count as undead.
Undead?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and also, you get a ping down in this urn here. There's something magical in it.
Which one? Oh,
It
that's
is yeah, this one right here. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go check that urn, and I want to identify this battle axe while we're chilling.
Okay.
If he tells me it's magical, I'll go over to the battle axe and prepared to get it once he tells me what it is.
So, first off, with the ring, or sorry, well, that gives it away. You open up the urn and you dig around, and you find a small ring. It seems to have like various like woodland animals engraved around the band. And if you go to identify the axe, I have this pulled up, and there it is. Okay. So you get the sense that this is a +1 axe that increases the vitality of its wielder.
I'm gonna relay that, and can I identify the ring or no?
Yeah, if you want to take another 10 minutes to cast identify on that, you'll find that it's a ring of animal friendship.
Aw.
You could be closer with Captain the Falcon.
You tell me that as I have a cat in my lap.
There's actually an owl bear outside. I'd be very interested in befriending. But do what you want.
Maybe those
Well, I'm
crabs
gonna-
will actually be nice.
Ooh, that's how you get the crab to give you its blessing.
Mmm.
No, the
Could be.
crab doesn't even know what its blessing is.
But once it does,
But maybe the smaller crabs do.
I pick up the battle axe.
So you put your hand around the battle axe and you try to pry it from the wall, but you can't. It seems to be stuck in there fast.
Oh shit!
And you try harder and harder, and no matter how hard you try, the axe doesn't even budge an inch.
Oh goddamn!
Does somebody want to slip this ring and go ask one of these crabs?
I guess I can. Yeah, sure. I'll try.
I mean, you're the one that can talk to him, right?
I'd have to. At this point, I think I'd probably have to cast another comprehend language.
Well-
So the ring does allow you to cast speak with animals.
Ooh, okay. Well then, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And then I'll go ahead and go talk to the crabs.
Okay. Oh, and if you want to add it to your character sheet, it's called the Ring of Animal Influence.
Okay, ring of animal influence. All right.
So yeah, you can go. You can go speak with the crabs or the little lobsters.
Yeah, lobsters, crabs.
As you step back into the room, leaving footprints in the mud, they emerge once more.
Oh, goddamn. Hey guys,
they
I'm
come
really, really sorry about making footprints in your mud, but we really need help.
We're not buying it, guy. You keep walking in here.
Hey man, I'm just coming to you, elf to lobster,
Uh-huh.
just trying to ask for a little bit of help, man.
Right.
Trying to help you
Yeah.
guys out, get the old big guy back up and running, so he can remember and help you guys out. And then we'll get out of your hair. We're a little bit frazzled, can't figure this out. You think you can help us
Yeah,
out?
we I mean, we've told you what we can. The vampire's got a curse on old Kalka. Kalka's the only one who can give the blessing, and if he doesn't remember how, he can't do it.
Okay.
What more do you want from me? I'm a custodian. All right? That's all I do.
Well, do you think you have some other guys that could help us? Maybe come help decipher what we need to do to open this door, or how we get him back in there? Because like right now we're not seeing shit.
I don't know. Have you tried maybe opening up the coffin, killing the vampire?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
need to do that.
Yeah, that's definitely what we have to do.
yeah, I figured that's what we have.
I
to do.
mean, if you wanna wait 30 minutes for my boys to come back from break, it's a union thing, you understand. Maybe they'll have some other ideas.
All right. Well, thanks for your help. I appreciate it, but we'll take it from here again. Thank you. So I go back
All
and
right.
relay the information. We need to kill the vampire in the thing. So apparently it's in there, but we gotta fuck it up. All right. So, Captain, how do you want to go about doing this? You have any plans? Any grand schemes? You usually have come up with really great plans.
Chains.
We're gonna open the coffin and stab it.
That's a great plan, Captain.
All right.
Hopefully it doesn't kill all of us.
How do you guys want to position yourselves in the room?
Like circle, I guess.
Yeah, we
Okay.
should probably.
I'd like to
surround-
start my blade song, like as soon as we open the coffin.
Sure. Yeah, you can have that up.
I'm going to
And
hide
you want-
behind one of the
Unbelievable.
urns with my bow drawn.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I have literally no protection. I have to fight from far away.
Here, mage armor. You
What?
want mage armor? Do you want mage armor?
I have
He's got
a
like an AC of 17.
what's that?
Oh,
I have an AC
What's
of
your
16.
AC?
It's 16.
It's not bad.
It's not
what's your
bad.
dex?
4.
Okay, so it won't help you that much.
Or it's
Does
it's a
anyone
plus-
want mage armor?
My dex is a +4, but sorry, but
Cool.
it's fine. It's better if but all the weapons I have are range weapons, so it's better if I can be at least a distance away, so I can aim and fire. So
You could
it's
also try to
Yeah,
like,
good. I'll be right back,
you
give
know,
me a second.
be sneaking so he doesn't see you.
exactly.
Yeah, if you want to try to make a stealth check, Adron,
Let's do that.
Um,
Stealth check.
before this gets started.
Let me get
Try
my.
to-
Shadows has returned.
Hey, Shadows has been kicking ass lately, so. It's a plus
Yeah, when
6.
Thugum's not around to kick it for him.
Hey, whatever works. 19.
19. Okay.
Do I know anything about vampires?
She'd relayed the information to us.
Yeah, Cirilla was able to relay some information to you guys about
Oh.
about what their weaknesses are.
I know more about vampires personally, but does
Yeah.
Metatron know anything about vampires?
I mean, you certainly heard of them and stories and stuff. But like
Fair enough.
up until Cirilla shared that information, you were under the impression that like garlic was a good way to ward them off, but apparently that's not the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know, sunlight, the stake to the heart, and the running water are that's what we know.
Oh yeah, no, I was more worried about its strengths and the things
Oh, yeah.
that I knew. But
I
yeah,
know.
let's
I'm aware
just
too.
let's pop open the lock.
I'm kind of looking around at the structure of this building that we're in, seeing if there's a way we can make a hole in the ceiling to get sunlight in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, does anybody have any like artificial light or anything?
Nope.
I do.
You do?
Nice.
Sweet.
I cast light on my warhammer.
Nice.
I don't think that's sunlight though, is it?
But it's
Because there's like a
It's-
specific sunlight.
It's
Ah,
angelic
spell.
light.
It's still just the light cantrip though, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like a
yeah.
there's like a sunlight spell specific.
Yep.
I don't know any better.
Rich doesn't really do spells. Or Metatron doesn't really do spells, I should say. Okay, so let's crack this bad boy open.
All right, Metatron and Kanatash, you work to loosen the chains, and you, after a few minutes of effort, you manage to slide them off, or not a few. After a little bit of effort, you manage to slide them off. They clatter onto the ground, and the room is just still for a moment. And you just hear this low, raspy voice say, "Finally, I am free." And then there's just this kind of crack in the granite as something pounds up against it. And then there's a second impact, and the granite just shatters and falls into the coffin. And a very pale, very emaciated looking man with wild eyes jumps out of the coffin. And I'm going to need everyone to roll initiative for me.
That's a nat 20 for a total of 23.
Oh, well, you get to go first. Good luck. 18.
11.
Also 11.
14.
All right, Dolomite. We're rolling initiative. He doesn't have his headphones on. Hold on. Initiative, my man. Roll it.
Sorry about that. Uh, 22.
22. Okay. Okay, so, Cirilla, it is your turn. This vampire has just emerged from his coffin and landed on the opposite side here. What do you want to do?
I'd like to get over to him with my movement. I've got 40 feet of movement.
Okay.
And then that should get me there. And then a bonus action, I'll cast Shadow Blade.
All right.
And for my action, I will attack him with my Shadow Blade. And that's a 22 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Okay. That is 9 points of psychic damage.
9 points. Okay.
Uh,
Oh, go ahead.
And I'll end my turn where I am.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, so you slice your shadow blade through him, and he sort of clutches his head in pain for a second. Let's see, Dolomite, you're up.
I do I have line of sight?
Yeah, if you stand up, you can like see over the urns pretty easily, and you'll have a shot at him.
All right. Oh. Uh, 20. Dirty 20.
Yep, that does it.
For 6. Damage.
6. And is this with your new hand crossbow?
Yes.
Okay.
Sweet.
So you fire off your shot. You see as the bolt leaves the crossbow, there's like a spark of arcane energy that wraps around the tip of the bolt. And it kind of sizzles a bit as it impacts with the vampire.
Nice.
So Adron, it's your turn.
All right. So, because I have stealth, right? I have advantage, correct? Or do I have a plus? I can't remember exactly what it is.
Yes, you are. You did successfully hide from him, so
Mhm.
yeah, you have advantage.
Okay, so I'm going to take my short bow and fire at him. Try to hit him in the heart. For 16. I hit it. Is a 16 hit?
A 16 does hit.
Okay, awesome. And then I roll one. For 10 points.
Okay, and this is a non-magical short bow, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and you did you do that with sneak attack?
Yes. Oh yeah, and that's another d6.
2d6, yeah.
D6, yes.
Mhm.
For another 8.
Okay. So comes around to his turn. Hmm. And so as it comes around to his turn, Cirilla, you notice that some of the wounds he sustained so far from Dolomites and Adron shots start to seal back up. He
Great.
raises up his right hand, and the axe that's stuck in the wall flies out, and he catches it. And in one smooth motion, he chops at you twice. Let's see. Yeah, 26 definitely hits.
Yes, it does.
Oh.
And you take 11 points of damage.
Okay. And then I need to make a concentration check, right?
Yes, for the Shadow Blade. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's 21.
Yeah, you're good there. And then you watch as he he runs away from you. 1, 2, 3, 4, going back 20 feet. So if you want to take an opportunity attack.
Hell yeah, I do. Oh, I'm rolling well tonight. That's 22.
That hits.
Oh, low damage. 3 points of psychic damage.
3 points. Okay. And you watch as he runs that 20 feet back, and then without stopping, he runs another 10 feet up the side of the wall and seems to stick in place.
Oh god damn it.
And I believe. Yep, that is it.
Okay.
Okay. Ulamir, you're up.
Well, shit. I think I'm gonna cast Minor Illusion.
All right.
I want to make a sound of like rushing water coming towards him from over him, in an attempt to frighten him.
Okay. What's your spell save DC again?
Where's that at?
It'll be at the top of your spells
That would make
list.
sense. 13.
13. Okay. So you make the sound of running water emit from above his head, and he lets out a hiss. And whatever force is keeping him up on the wall seems to drop for a second, and he drops back down to the ground.
Nice.
And starts looking up at the ceiling for the source of the water, but sees nothing, and kind of looks in your direction, Ulamir, with nothing but hate. You doing anything else?
Can I drink a potion as a bonus action, or should I just wait till my next turn?
Yeah, you can.
I'm gonna drink a potion of fire breath.
All right. Kanatash, it's your turn.
All right. So first, I'll move up on him,
Okay.
and we'll try to attack. See if I can hit. That's like a 6, so I'm going to go ahead and do the whatchamacallit, the vital strike,
Sure.
get advantage. And that's 13. Probably does not hit.
Yeah, so you slash out with your long sword, and he parries the blow aside with his axe.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Metatron, it's your turn.
What is the penalty for a cold shot?
Well, what are you gonna try to hit?
I'm gonna try and jam my stake through his heart.
Oh, okay. We'll say in this case, I mean that'll give him a bonus to his armor classes. I mean, we'll say it's like it's the same as if you were trying to hit something behind 3/4 cover.
Gotcha.
So.
All right. I will run up to him and attempt to stab him with my stake.
Do it.
If you
it.
can get up there. So go ahead and roll.
Uh, 16.
Okay, so you've got your stake in hand. You try to jab out at him, get him right in the heart. But he sees you run up, sees what you've got in your hand, and he's able to predict where the blow is going to land, and manages to dodge out of the way.
I'm going to go ahead and action surge and try and do it again.
All right.
No.
No.
All right.
16.
Yeah. This time he manages to bat your hand aside with the flat end of his axe before the stake can connect.
He says,
You
"Fuck
doing
that.
anything else?
Fuck your shitty shit. Metatron, got anything else?
No.
Okay. Cirilla, it's your turn.
All right. I'd like to move
Move on.
over to him in the top space above him
Okay.
and say to my companions, help me flank. And then I'd like to strike him with my Shadow Blade,
All right.
which is an 18 to hit.
That hits.
Okay.
Fuck him up.
Ooh, very nice. That is 12 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
Fucking him up. Damn.
And then I'd like to use my scimitar for my offhand attack. $14 to hit.
All right. So you.
I'm sorry, 24 to hit. There's a 14.
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
difference.
Sorry.
Yeah, that does hit.
6 points of slashing damage, and that's magical slashing from the +1 scimitar.
Right. Okay. So you get him with a 1-2 combo, slicing him with the Shadow Blade, and as he's clutching at his head again from the pain, you manage to slash him across the gut with your scimitar. And Dolomite, it's now your turn.
Do I still have a good line of sight on him? I know there's kind of a lot of people in the way.
You might have to move a little bit, like closer to around where Adron is, to get a clean shot.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
And I will attempt to crossbow him. Oof.
That's not a good sound.
10.
Yeah, so you fire your bolt. This one goes high and shatters against the stone wall, doing no damage. Anything else you want to do?
Actually, let me double check something. Nope, that's it.
Okay. Adron, you're up.
Alright, this time I'm going to take a shot with my Ray of Frost. Let's see. And it is a...
Bryce, we can't hear you.
Hey, I think you're on mute.
Oh, am I on mute? Hold on. Did I unmute myself by accident? No? Can you hear me now?
All this just start. Nope.
You are now
Okay.
on mute.
Better?
You are off mute.
Can you hear me?
Bryce, I'm not
Got
mad at
two screens up though, so like 2 profiles. It looks like
Yeah, I know.
one's
Mhm.
muted.
It's...
That one's always been the stream, I thought.
Here you go. Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
I think it is.
Better?
We probably, but
Hold on. Hold
just
on.
assuming that's why it's broken.
Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me? Hello? Check. God damn it. Hold on. Okay.
Oh,
Bryce-
there you go.
Check.
Oh,
Can you
Oh,
hear me?
you're back.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Okay.
Adron drops dead.
Nope.
No.
Everything's fine. Okay, so
He tried before, he can do it again.
I'm gonna do my Ray of Frost, and oh, here we go. I can't get this fucking thing to go away. Hold on. 4, and it is a +3, so it's a 21. So that should hit for,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
let's see, 8. 6 points.
Okay. All right. So your ray of frost slams into his left shoulder and causes ice crystals to form up on it and shatter. He hisses in pain, but is still. Oh, he's technically bloodied now.
Nice.
Is that all for your turn?
I'm going to attempt to roll a stealth check again, try to hide again.
You would have to move somewhere else in the room.
Okay, move to the next urn over behind on the backside, so you won't be able to see me. Would that be
Okay.
enough? Or do I need to move further?
Yeah, probably a little bit further
Okay.
back. Maybe to
Move.
one of these.
Yeah, move back to the same one, the even one with Ulamir.
Oh, the one that Ulamir's?
No,
Okay.
no, no, no,
Yeah.
not the same one, just
Oh,
the even
okay.
one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
So go ahead and roll your stealth check.
stealth is 14.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, at the top of his turn, those of you around him watch as his wounds start to close up again. Start to partially close up again as he seems to heal a bit. And with the axe in hand, he lets out this sort of a large shriek, and there's sort of like an eruption of dark energy that just passes through the chamber real quick. Nothing seems to happen for a moment, and then all of a sudden, 2 of the urns rattle. And emerging out from this one, and this one, this one here, you see 2 shadows kind of slither up out of the urns, and rise up with kind of like shadowy claws bared.
God damn it, I gotta fight myself.
And let's see. What was that? That was. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Does that, and he well, the 3 of you kind of have him cornered there, so he's just going to stay put.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Let's see. Ulamir, it's your turn.
Can I get within 30 feet of that first shadow, the kind of one that's by their group?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, you can step up to here, and that should be within 30 feet of it.
Okay. So I'm gonna cast Ice Knife at that shadow.
Okay.
Does a 16 hit it?
Yes.
Do you want to make a dexterity save?
Yep, it'll do that. And I think it's what, in a 5-foot radius around the impact point?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so Kanatash and Metatron will need to make one as well.
So it will take 6 points from the piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And 2d6. 3d6? No, it's a third level 3d6.
What
And
were
then
we
on the
rolling for?
You're rolling dexterity saving throws against Ulamir's spell DC. Which is a 13.
Okay, yeah, I got 17, so I'm good.
So the explosion was 11 points of damage.
Okay. So
And then would I still have a bonus action?
yes, you would.
Okay, so that potion of fire breath that I drank,
Mm-hmm.
will it need to make another dexterity save for that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna want to do that.
Okay. What are the? Would that hit Metatron and Canatash as well?
It doesn't look like it. It just says that it's on a target within 30 feet of you.
Oh, okay.
Must make a DC 13 dexterity saving throw.
Okay. So yeah, when you breathe out your fire, it manages to shift a little bit, so only some of the blast catches it. So it succeeded on the save there.
So it'll take 8 points.
Okay.
Takes half of it save. So.
Gotcha. So after this barrage of ice and fire, you see that both types of damage don't seem to be doing quite as much as you'd expect. But even despite that, the shadow is already starting to look a little faded and is bloodied.
Fuck.
Hell yeah.
Canatash, you're up.
Alright, so gonna attempt to swipe at him again.
All right.
13 does not hit.
It does not. No. Manages to parry your blow aside again.
Yeah.
Those
that-
recommend some new dice.
I actually got like one of those cheap sets that has like 6 different types of dice. Been using those two. Nothing.
We'll recommend new hands.
Something. Because
Like,
it's
that
just
Peter
not
also where like Fry swaps them with, Robot Devil. Highly recommend them.
Exactly. D&D robot devil hands.
That'd be fucking dope.
Exactly. Next tattoo design, Eric. Anyway.
Oh, dude, I want a feature on a leg sleeve from like ankle to like top of my thigh. So
Alright. So,
Oh yeah.
whose turn is it?
So Metatron, I think you're up. Yep.
I'm gonna keep stabbing at its heart
Okay.
till I get it. $19.
Hey.
You get this is still a call child at his heart. So you manage to get in real close as he's batting away Canatash's sword, and you think you're about to connect with that heart, but at the last second, with an almost supernatural speed, his free hand comes up, grabs your wrist, and shoves it back.
Ooh.
That was weird. Okay. That's
So you doing anything
terrifying.
else, Metatron?
Yeah, I'm just gonna take my second wind.
Okay. Cirilla, it's your turn.
Okay. Start off by saying, does no one know how to flank? And then, gonna keep my whirling blades going with my shadow blade. Oh, that's a nat 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hit. Hmm.
Do you double the dice or do you roll twice the dice?
Double whatever value you roll.
Okay. That's 18 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
Cirilla's out here
Um,
fucking shit up.
And then I will use my scimitar. And that's also a 21 to hit.
Yep.
This dice is working real well for me tonight.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Them heavy
Uh,
dice.
I do. It's metal die. 6 points of damage.
Maybe I'll try to bring that out again.
Oh god.
All right.
The thunder dice are back.
Yeah.
So you bring your shadow blade up, and this blow slices right down through where his heart would be. And instead of just having a headache, this time you see this black blood sort of just ooze out from his nostrils and ears as he grasps his head in intense pain.
See,
Well,
Metatron, that's how you hit the heart.
Brutal.
And then you slash him again across the chest with your scimitar to add insult to injury. You doing anything else?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
All right. Dolomite, you're up.
Uh,
You're going to need to do some inspiration.
yeah, it's actually not a bad idea. I'm gonna do
Sing a shitty tune, Dolomite. I scream from across the room. No, not really, because that'll give away my position. But I think it
I'm gonna
really
use,
hard.
Thunder Wave on the whatever thing, the shadow thing
Sure.
that's next to me. It's a Constitution save 13.
All right. It fails.
Wait, so I hit or I did not?
Yeah. It
Oh, you
failed to
fa-
save,
okay.
so it'll get pushed back. So if you want to roll your damage as well.
Fuck it up.
Where's the thing? There it is. 14 damage. Dang.
Okay.
Fuck it up.
That is. Oh. And how far does it get pushed back again?
10 feet.
10 feet. Okay. So you'd kind of be up here, so from where you're standing, it would get pushed back 10 feet that way. And you see that its shadowy form was disrupted a bit by the thunder, but not quite as much as you'd expect. But it did still take damage and is now right next to Adron, just in time for its turn.
Oh, great.
So probably not. A 12 misses you, right?
Of course it does. Yes, it misses.
Okay. So as it's flying back from Dolomite's blast, it slashes out one of its shadowy claws at you, and you duck out of the way. The one standing directly behind Metatron is going to make a go at him. And a 15 does not hit Metatron.
I'm gonna swing at it.
Yeah.
With the Warhammer, by the way.
The Warhammer? Yep.
Does a 26 hit it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. 16 points, and the Warhammer is silvered.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so using your silvered warhammer, you bring it straight down through the shadow, and it disperses completely. But around this time, 2 more of the urns start to rattle.
Gosh darn, damn it.
This. And you see another shadow emerge up behind Ulamir, and another one pop out of the northern urn here. Okay. And that brings us to Adron's turn.
All right, I'm guessing I'm close enough with that shadow that's in front of me to hit it with my dagger, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna use my +1 dagger to attack that thing. Does a 16 hit?
It does.
All right, for 1d4. So for 6 points.
6?
Yep.
All right. You slash through this thing with your dagger, and you notice that it's looking pretty tattered right now, but it's still just barely holding its form together. You doing anything else?
I'm going to disengage a little bit away from it so that it can't swipe at me as easily. Just back up a little bit.
Where to? Up.
Just
Like
straight
up
up.
here? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So at the beginning of the vampire's turn, you once again see some of his wounds start to close up. He is still bloodied after that recovery, though. He's gonna turn to Cirilla because she's been messing him up pretty bad. He's gonna take 2 swings with his battle axe. Ooh. One of those is close. Does a 15 hit?
Nope.
No. Okay. What about a 16? Does that hit?
Nope.
Well, okay.
The Blade Song gives me a 19 armor class.
Ah, all right. That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, you're in your Blade Song trance, and you manage to predict where those axe strikes are going to land just as he starts to swing, and you manage to parry both with your scimitar. Yeah, that's
good.
That's all he's got. Ulamir.
Okay. I've got this apparition right behind me, right?
You do, yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna drink this potion of speed. And I'm gonna give the haste to Metatron.
When you drink the potion, you can only give the haste to yourself.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It doesn't let you cast the haste spell. It gives you the effects of the haste spell.
Yeah, I went to haste the effects and I said I get it. Scratch that then. Let let me shoot this second level magic missile at old vampire dude there.
All right.
And it's what, 4 darts? 3 darts? No, 4 darts. Okay. For 10 points.
All right.
Damage, and then I'll use my bonus action to hit that second fire breath at the apparition next to me,
Sure.
which I have to look at the dice again for that. It needs to make a dex save.
Okay.
46.
Ooh, it fails.
14 points of damage.
Okay. So you exhale another breath of fire into this thing, and it punches a hole through the shadow. But the hole manages to partially reform a bit, and it's not quite as damaged as you'd expect from a direct hit like that. Almost as if it's resistant to fire.
Damn.
So Kanatash, it's your turn.
Okay, so let's try to take a swipe at this guy.
Do you want to try to flank?
I mean, what exactly?
So
Is-
flanking in this case would just mean moving to the square so that Cirillo is directly opposite of you. So you guys are like surrounding him.
Sure.
It gives you advantage on your attack.
Oh, does it really?
It does. yeah.
Yes.
Oh, then yes, I definitely want to do.
Mhm.
See, we're still learning. We don't know everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Metatron just
try.
wants to do it all by himself, really. He
Alright,
wants to
so
be the
it-
hero of the
7
story.
definitely does not hit, so then with advantage, a 14 probably does not hit either.
Yeah. So you get real close with your strike. You're stabbing out at him right towards his head, but he manages to catch the blade on his axe and let it slide harmlessly off to his right. But you got real close there.
Well, it's okay. That's good at least.
Metatron, you're up.
I'd like to say that I did not know what flanking was.
It is
I'll
an
go
optional
ahead and-
rule technically, and not everybody uses it, so maybe that's
Is
I
it
use
not a rule? I thought it was a rule.
If I have,
it's
I have
technically an optional rule. So
Oh,
Oh, well.
I'll go ahead and move up into the space to like block off his paths.
all right.
And I'm just gonna swing at him with the warhammer because I dropped the wooden stake earlier.
All right.
Does a 25 hit?
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and make this a disarming attack.
Okay.
So it's a DC 14 strength saving throw.
Okay. Just makes it.
And it is 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage. Okay. So you bring your hammer down into this guy, and even though you do hear some bones crack, but it doesn't have, but your blow doesn't do quite the damage that you expected. Doing anything else?
Nope.
All right. Cirilla.
yeah, I'm just gonna keep up what I'm doing. It's been working well for me.
Yep.
Well,
Working well for all.
maybe
of
not
us.
so much. That's a 10.
Yeah, that was with the Shadow Blade.
Yeah.
So yeah, he knows to watch out for that thing now, and he manages to duck out of the way of that hit.
Okay. And then, oh, even worse for the scimitar. So, no go. My luck has run out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Uh,
Don't say
alright,
that. Somebody needs to have
Dolomite,
luck.
it's your turn.
Gonna try a crossbow on the vampire dude.
Okay.
12 misses, right?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I want to use Bardic Inspiration on Metatron.
All right. How are you inspiring him?
I'm gonna sing like a verse, like a short little ditty, similar in sound to the Bee Gees, about attacking
Alright.
one's enemies.
Cool. Yeah. Metatron, you hear this, you hear Dolomite play this tune on his bagpipe. Before he starts out, he says, "Hey, Metatron, this is for you." So that you know it's intended for you, and you feel especially inspired and honored that Dolomite would dedicate this song in your honor. So yeah, you have your inspiration die. So let's see. This shadow is going to try to pursue Adron. 13 misses, I'm
It
pretty
does.
sure.
It does.
See, the one that's newly emerged is going to try to strike at Cirilla. Ooh, a 22?
Yep.
Yeah. That does... So you take 6 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
Ooh, specific
And you
damage.
feel yourself grow a little bit weaker. Your strength score is reduced by 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I have to roll a concentration check, yeah?
Yes.
11?
So you took what?
6 points?
6 points. So yeah, that you're good.
Okay,
you're good.
cool.
And then the one next to Ulamir is going to strike out at him. That is an 18 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And you take 12 points of necrotic damage as you feel this thing's shadowy claw pass through you. You also grow. You also feel yourself growing weaker, and your strength score is reduced by 4. Let me know if you hit 0.
That's not good.
And that is their turn. Adron, you're up.
All right. So I'm going to stab this thing again with my dagger that's in front of me.
All right.
And that is a 7, so that misses.
Yeah, you were you ducked out of the way to dodge this thing's blow, but in doing so, you got yourself in a bad position and couldn't quite get the stab in on him. Doing
And I'm
anything
gonna
else?
Try to move away, get out from in close range of it.
Okay. You moving towards like where Dolomite is?
Sure. We're gonna try
Okay.
to get up closer to the action.
3, 4, 5, 6. You can get all the way there, if that works.
Sure.
Okay. So at the start, the vampire's turn. Once again, see his wounds start to knit up. But he is still bloodied. And because his shadow does not know how to flank, he will just take 2 strikes on Cirilla. Again. Yeah. No. Those are both terrible. So you're kind of wobbling back and forth from that shadow's blow, and your kind of unpredictable movement made it hard for him to land his own strikes. So Ulamir, it's your turn.
Well, shit. Good thing I don't use strength at all, ever. For anything. I guess I'm gonna attempt to just firebolt this thing in front of me, because I really don't have anything else I can do to it.
But
Okay.
so-
You will have disadvantage on the blow if you don't, on the attack if you don't move first. Because you're in melee
If
with
I
it.
move, it gives it a chance to swipe, right?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I'll move. Why not? Fuck it.
Okay. So let's go ahead and see. 19 hits.
Oh yeah.
You take another 5 points of necrotic damage. And your strength score is reduced by another 2 points.
I am at 0 strength.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
You're gonna
As you attempt to move away from it, everything just goes black, and you guys watch as Ulamir's body hits the floor with a thud.
Well, shit, there goes our wizard. Cap. The wizard's down.
Yep.
So yeah, Kanatash, you're up.
All right. Gonna try to attack, but am I still at advantage with this?
You are. Yep.
Okay, let's see if it works. So 9 and oh, hey, like 22.
Yeah.
And so with that,
Fuck it up.
can finally hit it. So with Divine Smite,
Hell yeah.
it
Smite that
says
shit.
I can spend the 1 spell slot, and so I can expel more than 1 spell slot to add more damage onto it. Is that what it is?
No, it's only 1 spell slot, but like it can be a spell slot of any level. So like
Oh,
if you do like a higher level spell slot, it'll do even more damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then you said this guy's undead, right?
He sure is.
Okay, then he gets an extra 1d8 on top of that. Alright, so 2 plus... that's 5. Extra... 11... 18... It is... 23 damage.
Nice.
Ooh. So your sword gets sheathed in this radiant light, and you slash it down through the vampire, and that radiant light bursts in a little mini explosion. And after that subsides, you can see that the vampire has severe, like, burn marks from the radiation up and down his face and chest. And he is struggling to stay on his feet, but he is still just barely up.
Cool.
Metatron.
$15 to hit.
That actually just does it. Yeah.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
I'll-
He's
I'll
gonna
go ahead and move a disarming attack, but it's really just for the damage. You can have him make the strength saving throw if you like.
Okay.
7. 11 plus 6. Yeah. 17 points.
Okay. How do you want to do it?
I would like the war pickaxe to accidentally go through his heart. Like he tries to dodge out of the way, and it just hits him right in the heart where I was trying to hit the whole time.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, you're thinking in your head like, screw this heart thing. I'm just gonna hit him in the head with the pick. And you swing it, and he's reeling from Canatash's blow, and he moves in just such a way that his head moves out of the way of the blow, but his heart goes right in line of it, and it just slams right into him. And he lurches forward with kind of a groan, and then falls down to his knees. And
fucked him up.
yeah, you see his body slowly start to kind of like decay and sort of disintegrate away. He appears to be down.
Yeah.
And as he disappears, all three of the shadows in the room freeze where they stand, and they let out this kind of like shriek, and then they all kind of explode into these little shadowy bursts and dissipate.
Got him.
Yeah.
All right, that was a lot.
Oof.
Whew. Okay, so he's gone.
How dead is Olimir?
Hmm?
How dead is Olimir?
Oh, yeah,
He is fully dead.
He doesn't get to come back.
Nope.
Oh.
Not from that.
Nope.
But who knows? Maybe there's something in the in this grave that might be able to help bring him back.
Okay.
Well, since it's like almost 11 o'clock, I'll say
Yeah.
we'll find out whether or not there is such a thing next time we play.
All right, guys. Hold
Sounds
on, give
good.
me- Hold on. Give me just a second. Let's end this show and then. All right. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to Bright Bush Pickers. This was a lot of fun. We've enjoyed playing with you guys. Thank you. We'll see you guys soon.